This is my reaction to revival track listing. Now, I'm wondering one thing. Where's Two Chains? Where's Two Chains at? Come on, man. He was so happy to be on here, and now he's not. But that's something I wanted to point out. The next thing I wanted to point out is that the song Walk on Water is like the opening track, which makes sense because if you saw my reaction to Walk on Water, you see the last few seconds starts a new track, which could be the Believer track because the last few seconds had him rapping in a speedy flow, which could be the Believer track that we are given as the second track. Get it? Walk on Water, Believer, as a reference to Jesus Christ having many believers, and since he could walk on water. Or maybe failing his believers who believe that he was the AKA rap god, and he talks about his insecurity. I don't know, but hey. See, she talks about believe in me, and the next track is believe. And then I'll show you where it kicks off the second track, which is believe. On water. And she talks about drowning, which is maybe a reference to river. But as long as I got a mic, I'm God-like. So me and you are not a like, bitch. I wrote stand. And whatever. All right. So, of course, Believer, and he talks about wrote stand. And this is the starting track to Believer. So, I don't know, maybe it's a more hyped track or whatever. And then we get to the track Fluoroseptic, which is a form of oral antiseptic, which could be a referencing to Believer and how maybe he has some type of skin disease or illness that is representative of his pain and how he needs to take Fluoroseptic. And since the Fluoroseptic is not really working that much, he's untouchable, and thus he's drowning in his own pit of despair or crying a river. But then he must remind himself that he's still the greatest and that he shouldn't really feel like he's dead. So he has some type of revival and he decides to go back home. And he decides to be a better father. So the reference of bad husband. And also, like any twists and turns of life, it has a terrible ending as maybe one of his friends died because of some overdose or whatever. But after the tragic ending of his friend passing away, people start to blame him, so he feels framed. And then now hear fast. Now, I think the reference to now hear fast is telling people to chill out, but people are still in heat and offended. And so he's in heat and offended, and people are pushing him away. But maybe they realize one day that they need him or need me, as thoughts in their head are flaring around them, and they sad that they built a castle against him. But one day they know that he will arose again in their hearts. Like, this is just a theory out of the whole track listing that I have, like this whole concept album or whatever. Or maybe it's not a concept album. Maybe it's just a collection of various albums, tracks, or whatever. But all I have to say is this album seems a little too bloated. Like, there's one intro track. Actually, there's two back to back almost intro tracks, which is Remind Me, which is an intro to Remind Me, and then there's Revival, which is like an interlude, like when you have back to back. And this is on the first half of the album. Come on. And many people is really just not feeling that he's teaming up with Ed Sheeran. But what you need to realize about Eminem is he always teamed up with pop stars. I mean, come on. If he wasn't doing his own singing, he was teaming up with top pop stars, sometimes uncredited or whatever. But hey, and I really liked Alicia Keys on that whole DJ Khaled whole song where she brought the whole gospel theme. She could be bringing the whole gospel theme to the song like Home or so forth. And then ex ambassador who sounds like Imagine Dragons except less imaginative. They could be bringing the whole theme of large celebration music or large drama filled music that Imagine Dragons does. And Skylar Grey, she's a staple of Eminem's music, so I don't know why people are flipping out. I mean, hey. So is Pink. Pink is sadistic and as twisted as Eminem is. So she'll kind of like balance them out and stuff like that. But like I said in my 50 Cent video, I do regret that 50 Cent is not on this album, nor 2 Chainz, nor Dr. Dre. I mean, nor Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg just came out with an album. You couldn't hook him up with like a feature or two to make it a standout track. I mean, come on, man. These people deserve your attention. And many people criticize Eminem for going pop, but I'm pretty cool with it. His last album, the Marshall Mathers album 2, was pretty alright. You know, I'm not cool with sequels or whatever. But hey, it had its own stable staying power. It was pretty nice. I kind of wish that he teams up with Kendrick Lamar again, as he was pretty tight in that whole love song thing. But hey, I guess this is a more personal album. And Kendrick Lamar went a more trap filled route. So maybe he's like, nah, man, I don't want that personal shit. And J. Cole, he always been reclusive. But if J. Cole can actually feature on a Logic album, come on. You wouldn't feature on an Eminem album, a legend. And he wasn't even credited for featuring on that Logic album. So you couldn't feature on this Eminem album. Like, come on, man. Fuck me. Like, shit. But hey, overall, I'm going to say this album is coming on December 15th. Try to get it if you may, and stuff like that. I think that this will be one of his more personal albums. And this album seems more of a feminine album. I mean, come on, like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 7 features on here. 5 are women. Like, that's the shit. Come on, man. This could be a more feminine, oh shit, as people used to say. And I'm waiting for him to bash Trump throughout the whole album. Like, I know he has a few hits on Trump that he could be doing, like, throughout the whole album and stuff like that. You know, I'm waiting to see that. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. I'm rooting for you. And the kid right here now, he's dating Halle Berry. So that's pretty nice. But yeah, please like, subscribe to this channel, share the video. And I'm out, guys. Eminem, Rap God. He's coming back to us. Yee!